And the parody continues.
And it's freaking great.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Alright guys, welcome to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. It's been another week. Muddy Creek, all set.
Almost lived up to his name.
Almost lived up to his name. Thought we were going to get a mutter.
We got lucky.
Yeah, we did. So before we get started, let's take care of the, the business end of things. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for all the subscribers. Make sure you guys are sharing, liking, subscribing this, commenting down below. Don't forget, we also are working with Amazon, so there's links below to some of the gear I use as far as camera, microphone, computer. I'll link some of the moto gear I use. Click those links. Even if you don't buy that stuff, we get a small slice of it. Helps us out. We're trying to go to Monster Cup.
Right. Go to Vegas for a few days.
So if you guys click that, we can get some moolah rolling in. It'll be great.
Much appreciated.
Yep. And also don't forget, like us, follow us on Facebook at Moto Aftermath Show. Live feeds every weekend for practice reports.
Especially this coming week.
And this coming week we're going to be live from Redbud, so we will do probably live videos press day, we'll do live videos race morning, we'll do maybe some live videos of some amateur racing, who knows, but yeah, so we're going to do all that. Alright, now let's get to the show. Let's talk about Muddy Creek, talk about the track. You go first.
I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, got a torrential downpours. It backed off a little bit, I think, from what I heard, 5 a.m. Saturday morning. They did a good job rolling it and stuff, but the problem was that it was so cold on Saturday morning, but with all the humidity, as soon as that top base of moisture got packed in with the bottom hard base, it just kept sitting in instead of dissipating and stuff because of all the humidity, and it really didn't kind of start thinning out until about the first 450 moto, but Muddy Creek's not a favorite track of the guys. It's very narrow, whether it's from the inside to outside, the corners apex really quickly. So it's very one line and stuff. But the racing was great. I think it was just because of it was like a highway for those first motos. Everybody was just pegged, and a lot of people weren't really happy about it. But that's just kind of the deal when you go to Muddy Creek. So racing was good. Track kind of sucks, but. You know.
But it formed up a lot, like I said in the live report, of it was going to dry out because it wasn't raining, and it was going to be prime riding pretty much. So, and it was. That was the way it was. And it didn't even get like super deep or whopped out like we've seen so far this year with some of the tracks. So, I don't know. I thought it was okay. There was definitely some one-line sections. There were some one-line sections that people were making two-line sections, which was awesome. Helped with the racing part of it, but yeah, I don't know. It's not a favorite track of mine to watch either. I mean, like, they just have like those long straightaways with like 14 jumps in them, you know, and it's just like.
Or as soon as you come out of the Xing of one corner, you're in the entering of the next. Like that one section after the rhythm section. Hit that little inside roller and you're right into the corner. The best thing, though, they honestly did, which they made the mistake of High Point, not getting on the track workers' case. It's just sometimes time lapses and things. They didn't go out there and doze it after practice and make all the skidster marks and stuff where it got really chunky in certain spots. They just let the track break down from time qualifying into the motos, because if they would have did it like High Point, if anybody that watched High Point, a lot of that unnecessary dirt getting chunked up from the dozer tracks, yeah, a lot of people were pretty pissed off about that. So they did a great thing by not doing that. But all in all, racing was great. Track's just... and from what I heard, there might be a possibility that Muddy Creek might not be on the schedule too much longer, but that's a whole different story.
Yep. So anyway, that's our thoughts on the track. Let's get into the actual racing action. All right, 250 class. Let's start from the let's start with the bottom up. 5th place overall.
Alex Martin.
You
can go first. I went first last week.
All right.
Go ahead.
I mean, all he saw was the back of Faulkner's jersey all day.
Oh my God, dude!
Let's go there. Let's go there. I don't feel bad for the kid, dude. 80 minutes of staring at the 24.
Staring at 24.
Oh God, I'd have shot myself. I'd have been like, "Fuck this kid."
Dude, and he got so close that second one.
So close. I was like, "Oh, he's gonna get." Oh no, he's not.
No,
absolutely not. So, I mean, rode all right. I don't know what his prop like. It's like we're gonna talk about it later, but there's just no clear-cut fast guy in the 250 class, and like he's no exception. Like if he yanks a start and gets out front, like okay, cool. But then again, is he even in that fastest of fast guys in the 250 class? Because we've watched him fade over the course of a couple races where he was trying to push it to either stay up front or make a pass, and then faded off either the first moto or the second moto was just worked over because he went so hard in the first moto. So, I mean, I don't know. My faith in him pulling off a title obviously is really low. My faith in him winning is getting low also.
If you really think about it though, it's kind of like last year though. Like honestly, think about it though. Okay, he was consistent, always a top 5 guy. Looked like he had the speed. Got a couple moto wins last year and stuff. Got an overall. But when was really last year he the clear-cut favorite? We just looked at Alex Martin because he was having this off-the-wall season, hadn't done it since he'd been in the 250 class, got the star Yamalu ride, was just killing it, pacing, well not really pacing, but, consistent with Coop and J Mart and Joey and all those guys. But when did really Alex last year, did you just sit down and ever watch him ride and be like, he's clear-cut the fastest dude in the 250 class. Like, he's clearing away, but yet he was always there. So I think it's kind of one of those jumping to conclusions like we did last year because he was on the MX of Nations team and we're like, oh, dude, oh, wait a minute. The only reason he was on that team is because Coop decided to ride a 450. He wasn't the fastest guy.
Yeah, I guess.
Amart was just consistent. I think it was kind of an optics thing. Like, we saw him always up there in the points, so we would have just thought, oh, man, like, he was clear and cut away the fastest guy. No, he really wasn't. If you go back and watch those motos last year, he never really was the fastest guy. It's just he never really had a moto outside the top 5.
I guess you're right.
If you think about it, like I completely agree with everything you're saying. But if you really want to think about it, when last year did he just, oh my God, like Alex Martin's on fire?
Nope, you're right.
So
you're right.
I think it's the same thing as last year. I just think we expected more of him this year,
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, that's all I kind of have to say about it, because I really don't have an answer on why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah, I don't either, because it's really weird to me. Like, his fitness has been so good, but I guess J-Mar's the same way. Like, his fitness has been so good, and, like, he just can't, I don't know.
It's just the class is so deep that if you don't get, it's almost like if you don't get a top 3 start, you're not going to win a moto.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, honestly.
Yeah. So anywho, moving on, 4th overall, AC.
Dude, that first moto, man. And let's just get into it. The big dude's yanking holies.
Dude.
Where the fuck did that come from?
Anybody who says a guy who's over 6 foot cannot ride a 252 or 254 stroke and get a hole shot is full of shit.
AP got both of them.
And AC was right on his ass the whole time.
First moto, he looked great. AP just had a little bit more in the tank. AC made a few line selections that really didn't work in his favor, allowed AP to get just enough of a gap. He was there, he had him in sight. I think it was like 3.5 seconds to the finish. I might be wrong, it might be a little bit more. He looked good, nothing really impressive. Second moto, same thing as what I just said though. If you don't get a top 3 start, you're not going to win a moto. And him and Amart and Faulkner were they were freight training the whole entire time. Like he didn't ride like shit the second moto, he rode good. It's just one of those things that everybody is within 1/10 of a second of each other, that it's almost you're basically going to start or finish where you start unless you're going to blow somebody off the corner or somebody makes a mistake and fades. Like, that's just how it is.
Yeah, it's really weird to me. The only 2 people in the whole class that I think have the fitness to go both motos 30+2 are Faulkner and Zach. Everyone else has not impressed me with fitness. They'll have one good moto and one that's not so good, and it's usually not necessarily that they just ride shitty, they fade. AC's the same way, Amart's the same way, Plessinger obviously is the same way. I mean, Ferrandis has,
flashes.
Flashes. I mean,
J-Mart's, you can't chunk it up to that. You just bad luck on his part.
J-Mart has bad luck. He might have it, but you haven't really got to see it, because it's like, oh, he has bike problems the first one, so then he comes out guns blazing the second one. Okay, well, he had bike problems. He didn't ride the first one, so okay, so really, you really haven't got a chance to gauge his cardio. But realistically, Faulkner and Zach are the only 2, which is weird to say because Faulkner's a sophomore, but realistically, that kid, both motos, every single weekend, flies.
And honestly,
it doesn't fade.
I think a lot of times too with Austin, you just look at him. He just runs on adrenaline sometimes. I think because there's times where on the podium he looks spent, and there's other times where he looks cool and like he didn't even sweat. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know with AC though. I mean, I don't know. What can you?
I don't know. Okay, I got a question for you. Do you think we're ever going to see the AC that we saw come out his rookie year of Supercross and just freaking die? Is that AC ever going to come back? That was this next Ricky
level.
Carmichael, next level dude, and was just going to dominate and came out and won 3 out of his first 5 Supercrosses and was just expected just to dominate. Are we ever going to see it?
450 Supercross.
Okay.
450 outdoors, no. 450 Supercross. That's all I can answer. That's it. 450 Supercross. I think that he's grown into his body and he's matured and he's learned to use his legs a lot more instead of, when he was small and you could just tell that the bike was riding him a lot of the times, not the other way around. But he gets a lot of lackadaisical sometimes and stuff because I think, as stupid as this is going to sound, I think sometimes being on that pro circuit bike and as good as that motor is, he forgets how much bigger he is than everybody else. And you can tell that there's times where it's not him just trying to get a breath and loosening up and relax. He takes sections off where he'll just be killing at certain sections. The other sections, it's just like, oh, I'm just kind of going to do whatever I can do to cake the fast line and I'm not going to really push. And then he'll sprint. Or, oh, I'm just going to kind of ride around. And it's not like him settling in. It's just like he just takes sections off where he's just not pushing the whole entire time. But I think 450 Supercross. 450 outdoors, as much as I hate to say it, and I've grown to like AC, and you know this from the conversations because I never really liked the kid because just the phenom hype, same thing it was with Alessi, grown to like him. I don't think AC is ever going to win a title. But I think that when he gets on a 450 and goes to Supercross, I think that, like Plessinger, he's going to be an instant threat. But outdoors, I just don't ever see him winning a championship. He's not consistent enough. I still think mentally he's soft. I really do. So, that's just my opinion about him.
Bold.
I like AC, but, if anybody...
Bold words.
It is what it is, though. It's not wrong.
No.
I mean, when has he really just gone out there and you're like, oh, wow, he's just better than everybody else?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Train's back on the tracks this year, obviously, because he's doing way better, but... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for him, but just something that crossed my mind. Are we ever going to see that dominance? I don't know.
No, I don't. 450 Supercross, and that's kind of it, to be honest with you. But that's just me.
Well, and now we'll move on to our third place dude overall, and we've touched on him already, Austin Forkner. And I think this is a snowball that's just building to explode next year, and I think he's going to continue to build here over. He looked great all day.
Yeah, he did.
Even with the ripped jersey in the first moto, getting that extra ventilation.
Flying W. Can we talk about that for a second?
Oh my God, dude! How about
that
both,
section?
How about both flying W's in there?
Baggett?
No.
Well,
Baggett had it too, but Baggett's wasn't as gnarly. But Forkner's flying W, super gnarly. Davalos,
yep.
Flying W.
Same section.
Gnarliest, all the
same section.
And that's the kind of sections I'm talking about on the track that I don't really care for. Those long ones that there's 4 big jumps in a row.
Yeah.
And you just have to go wide. And then not only do you have to go wide open through the whole thing, it freaking just gets ruddy.
Yep. Oh yeah, especially jumping, launching off the 3 onto the table, and then just jumping into the pocket of that face. And since you're just G'ing out so hard, it just gets so rutted up. But yeah, back onto the Forkner thing though. I mean.
I think it's building. I think next year is going to be his year. I think he had last year he came through outdoors and he did well because he's used to riding outdoors. Went this year into Supercross, progressively built, did okay, got on the box a couple times, but this is his first full year of doing Supercross and outdoors. Now next year he's going to be acclimated to doing both.
A lot of guys.
He's going to know. There's some guys moving up. He's going to know what's expected of him and how to prepare himself for both. I think next year is going to be Forkner's year.
Here's my question for you on Forkner pertaining to outdoors for the rest of the year. And that was only round 5. Do you think, I guess I should start off first by, do you see him getting an overall this year? With the way...
2 places. This coming weekend, Redbud, possibly.
Okay.
Good possibility because he's rode that track a ton in his amateur career. He knows that place and he likes it.
And he was really, and I hate using this term, but really racy with Coop there last year for a few laps.
Yep. And the other place, Washougal, where he won last year.
Okay, so that leads to my next question then, because I had to ask that first. If you didn't think he was going to win, I wouldn't ask you this question. Follow up. Do you think the only way he wins is if he gets a start? Do you think he can get what he did in this and get a third-place start if AP and Zacho and J-Mar are looming around him and still win? So basically, meaning, do you think that he can come through the pack from inside the top 5 and win in a moto? Because, let's be honest, though, he rode great. Dude, he was killing it. But he really, that first moto, didn't make up any time on AP and Cincerello until the end of the moto when everybody just kind of knew. And the same thing with the second moto. He made up no time on AP and Zacho.
So do I think he can come from 5th up?
Or even third up. If AP, Zacho, J-Mart, and those guys are looming inside the top 5.
Man, I don't know. And this goes back to before we started shooting and what we were talking about. There isn't a clear-cut fast guy in the class. It's pretty much whoever gets the start, if you can keep it off the ground, chances are high you're going to win. And there's there's almost 10 dudes that can do it in that class. That if they get a start and keep it off the ground, they win. But there isn't a clear-cut fast guy. It's not like the 450s where you have Baggett and Eli who can come through the pack and fucking make up 20 seconds on somebody. There isn't anyone in this class.
And not even Zacho.
No, not even Zach. So yeah, no, I don't think if he starts outside the top 3, I don't think he can win.
So basically, you're saying that you think the way he wins, even if it is Washougal or Redbud, is he either going to get the start or get second place?
Yep.
Because he even got a third place start and he just couldn't do anything with it.
Yep.
Okay, so all right, fair enough, and that's kind of how I feel. I feel that with the way this class is that if he doesn't rip the start or get second place and he's latched onto who's ever in front, he's not going to win, even if he's feeling it at Washougal. Another place he might be able to do it is that second moto with Southwick. He was good there last year. He battled with Coop. He battled with Coop for about 15 minutes last year, and then Coop just kind of rode away from him. But I feel the same. I mean, I don't really have much to expand on there because it was kind of just him and Amart like just pacing each other the whole entire time. Except really, it was Amart pacing him because Faulkner didn't see him one time the whole entire day. I agree though. Man, it's so hard because I want to say, it goes back to what I said after Thunder Valley, that I think Faulkner can get in overall. But it's just so hard to predict that because of, if he doesn't get a start, I don't think he can win. I don't think that if he's inside even the top 3 that he can make a move for second or first like a Zacho or a J-Mark can if they're up front. But if it's going to happen, it's going to be at Washougal. Yeah. I don't think he can win anywhere else. Even as good as he is at Redbud, I don't know. But, yeah, and on to the second place guy, the points leader, Zach Osborne.
Yep. Who
kind of rode like crap the first moto, obliterated everybody the second moto, but man, he was struggling that first moto.
I mean,
it's kind of a chink in the armor though. Like, he's got the points lead by 31 points.
What do you think the chances are he doesn't win this title?
31 points up on Alex Martin. Whew, damn. That would take a catastrophic failure at this point for him to win. He could pretty much win.
Well, the Huskies had that before.
Yeah.
Like, what was it, 3 times last year?
Yeah, transmission problems and a couple other odds and ends. Oh God.
So it could happen, but right now, I don't know. I don't see anybody. He's dunging the 250 class at this point. He is just the most consistent guy. He's winning races also, but he's not. Again, there's no clear-cut fast guy in the 250 class. There is no one who is 10 seconds faster than anyone else.
Basically, the only way I will to answer that question is if he could. With those Huskies are so fucking good, and Zacho's got his starting technique on point right now. He would basically have to get top 5 starts or worse, a 5th place start or worse for the rest of the year. Because it proved every time he doesn't get inside the top 3, and everybody can talk about high point, but if you go back and watch, he was inside the top 3 on the first lap. It's just there was a lot of shuffling around. He would have to get 5th or worse, I think, for honestly, at this point, for him to lose the championship. Man, and I just don't know if that's going to happen.
I don't think
basically, it would just, everybody would have to get good starts and just, like, shuffle him back.
Yeah.
But I think that was a chink in the armor, though, that if he doesn't get a start, he can't win.
Yeah.
Because think about it, every time he hasn't got inside the top 3 start this year, he has not won a moto yet.
Yep.
And it's been pretty handily. Because even when he closed the gap on Amart, dude, he couldn't do anything with it. He lost time. He was like 8 seconds back at the end of the finish from Amart.
Yep.
So if there's any chink in Zach Osborne's armor right now, it's that if he doesn't get a start, he can't win.
But other than that, barring a catastrophic failure, that title's his now.
And it really sucks because it goes back to what we just kept saying before the show. He's not the clear-cut fastest guy. It's just what you've been saying for weeks. He's the most consistent guy.
Yep.
Question for you, though. And I know this is a hypothetical question. If Coop was in this class still from last year, and J Mart was on his star bike from last year, who would be the points leader right now? Actually,
Coop would still be winning.
Would J Mart from last year be ahead of Zacho right now? A healthy J Mart, not the J Mart of last year. I said the J Mart from 2 years ago. Would J Mart be ahead of him right now? Because I think that J Mart would wax this Zach Osborne, no problem.
Probably, but I don't know, man. That's hard to tell because Osborne is really good and he's not scared to be aggressive.
But do you think he could beat those guys when they were on their best day? Because I don't think he would have anything.
Do I think he could beat Coop?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Because Coop is another one that he will drive it in on you no matter what.
I would have loved to see those two.
But I don't know that Jeremy has that drive as much to drive it in on someone.
I'm just looking at speed when J Mart won his championships that I don't think Zacho, even this Zacho, was as fast as him.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
It was just a question because I think that a lot of people, it'd be really interesting if Coop never would have decided to move up to the 450 class. Would we see differently? But all right, anyway, on to the overall guy.
Overall guy, Aaron Plessinger.
Pretty pumped.
Finally got one.
Yep.
He needs to cut that porn stash so bad.
Dude, it's giving him the swag, bro.
It's so fucking awful.
I know, it's giving him...
His girlfriend would be like, I'm not even putting it close to my mouth until you cut that. Because that is just awful.
But let's talk about that first moto.
Domination.
That's the Aaron Plessinger that is the guy that you were kind of talking about when we did the preview show.
Yeah. I mean, if that guy shows up, like...
Are we on agreement, though, the second moto after he made the mistake that he just let Zacho go? Because
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He made that mistake. He knew he wasn't going to catch him. Again, this goes back to there's no clear-cut fast guy there. Mm-hmm. So he knew he wasn't going to make up 5, 10, however many seconds he was behind at that point. So he said, fuck it, whatever. Let him go. Let Zach win it. He still gets the overall.
Yep. So I hope that Plessinger keeps showing up because I'll be really curious if he can keep winning if he gets starts like that.
Yeah, it would be interesting because if he does continue to get starts, because right now I think his start confidence is super high. In fact, he made the comment to Georgia and a couple other people of, hey, my starts are on point, bro.
He's never gotten 2 starts in a row since like the amateur days.
And so if he can continue to get starts like that and start ripping off some wins and Zach does not get, top 5 starts or whatever and has to come from behind and is getting 5th place, I mean... you get a few rounds in a row like that, all of a sudden, boom, he closes that points gap right up, too, I mean...
Do you think he can, though? Like, I know that we're saying, but, like, do you think he can? Okay.
Let's get through Southwick, and then I'll comment more on that.
But if he keeps getting starts like that, do you think he keeps winning? Is what I guess I'm getting at. Like, if he rides like he did that first moto.
Because, again, this is the same thing. And, again, he's been getting starts. Hell, he got starts. Where was it that he crashed that Nick Way grabbed the flag there?
Oh, Thunder Valley.
Yep. He had a start there. He was winning.
Yeah, he was.
Till he put it on the ground. Again, if you can keep it off the ground, you're fine.
Okay.
You can keep away from that Sabachi syndrome.
Which, really, Joey hasn't had it this year. He's just had bad luck at this point.
Joey just hasn't done shit. Let's face it.
No, other
Joey
than the win at Thunder Valley. Well, he won Thunder Valley, but that's it.
Joey hasn't done shit since he got taken out in Vegas.
But once again, it goes back to the parity thing. Like, dude, you just got to get a start. Because he fucking gets a start at Thunder Valley and he wins.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't get a start and he's like 15th.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's wild, but it's great. I'm loving it, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome, even though Zacho is clearing away, running away with his championship. It's awesome to not know who's going to win every moto it happens.
Yep, pretty much.
Because we haven't had that, since
years.
For me, as far as I can remember, it's been like 15 years since that's happened.
Oh, yeah.
So it's great. We love it.
It's been a long time.
We love it. So.
Anything else with 250s?
No, not really.
Okay, cool. That's it for 250s. Let's move on. All right, 450 class. Let's move on. I'll start. 5th overall, Dean Wilson. Question for you.
Okay.
Let's start with a question. Let's do this.
I like questions, man.
Is Dean Wilson the best privateer signing by a factory team in the last 3 years?
Ooh.
From bringing a guy off Privateer Island into the factory game, is he the best one in the last 3 years?
No. Brett Metcalf was a couple years ago when he got 4th in the points. But close.
Well, we're not done yet.
Okay. Yeah, it's true.
And he's like
what, 5th in the...
I don't know. He's up there. He's 5th? Impressive.
5th or 5th? I think he's 5th. Yeah.
He is. You remember we talked about we could work with speed, and we were like, man, maybe he doesn't have it anymore. I don't know. He's showing some speed now, man.
Which is crazy because if you go back and look, even since Hangtown, like he's been inside the top 10, But dude, he's been getting like these. I completely agree. He just needs to be top 10 every moto, and I think that was his goal.
Yeah.
And I think and they even did.
That's what they said on.
He just wants to be top 10.
Yep.
Yeah. But like, I know in his mind that he would really love to be on the podium. Everybody would. I still think that he thinks he can do it, which I'm not sure speed for speed if he can. I know he's close, but if you look at his overalls, dude, they're like fluky. Like 5th overall with like a 9.6 or something.
Well, did you look at all of them? Like, what was it? 4th through like. Was it 4th or 5th through like 9th? Was all they were like 3 points separated.
Oh yeah, yep.
And it was all weird stuff, like 5th and 14th, like 3rd and 11th. Like it was just, but that's the parity that's in the class this year that we're loving.
If he gets top 5 in the points, and I know that he re-signed for next year.
Yep.
Are people gonna start to think that the Dean Wilson that he was coming off the 250s, that he is back?
I would say so, yeah.
Would you think this where he would be if he never would have got hurt all those years and kept blowing his knee out?
Oh no, I think he would be. God, I don't know. I feel like he'd be farther ahead.
You don't think he'd be winning though, do you? Because I don't. I don't think he would. I like Dean Wilson.
I don't feel like he's that level. I feel, honestly, you know what? I feel like had he not gotten hurt, he still would be at the same level he's at right now as far as results wise. Maybe a little bit better, and he wouldn't have had to come off Privateer Island here.
Yep.
But I don't know. I don't see him having that next level speed because you basically have Eli and Baggett up here, and then everybody else below from like 3rd down to 12th or 15th. Yep. They're all.
So basically what you're getting at is with that answer, and I completely agree, is that it took him 3 years to get where he probably was going to be anyway.
Yes.
Which is crazy, because that shit never fucking happens.
3 years on his own bike, and
about
his dad wrenching
10 blown out knees.
Yes, and he's basically where he should have been.
Which is good though. I mean, dude, like.
I mean, yeah, it's great. Makes things interesting.
And let's be honest, I really don't think too many people would think, other than maybe him and his inner circle, would think he'd be better than this anyway.
Nah, I don't think so.
Because if somebody would have said, hey, the Dean Wilson never would have got hurt, he'd be getting podiums all the time, I'd be like, maybe, but no. But yeah, great dude. Like it's awesome. It like once again with the 250 class parity.
Yep.
Which leads to the 4th place guy, which is my boy, Weston Pike. I want to hear your thoughts first because, yeah, I just want to hear him.
The guy eats concrete for breakfast. What do you want me to tell you? I mean,
dude,
I'm in love with it. Who was he battling with? He just pushed him out of the way.
Probably Bogle. It wasn't Barsha. He got a clear track on the inside, and he just kind of went around him.
I don't know, but dude, I mean, the guy's got a hurt wrist that he can't hardly ride with during the week, and he gets 4th.
3rd for 28 minutes, and then Baggett, the charge from hell just happened. But so a question for you then: where would Weston be had he never got hurt back in Glendale? Because let's be honest, if he's here right now where he's at, where would he be? Because you know how I feel. You know how I feel about Weston.
Well, Weston Pike, in my opinion, is the best guy to ever come off Privateer Island.
Oh, for sure. Nobody will ever beat
hands
that.
down. Well, I'm not gonna say ever because you never know what's gonna happen.
But it's close.
But I don't know that anybody else, coming. And the thing is like he doesn't even like a Dean Wilson where he was good and then got hurt or whatever. Like no. He basically, as Wygant put it, has made up because he went from being lapped in races to now he is finishing like 4th. He basically has made up an entire lap over the last 3-4 years here.
Yeah.
Speed wise. So.
And he's the biggest dude in the class without a doubt.
Oh yes.
Biggest dude, not tallest, heaviest guy. Even though he's still a bulldog. Dude, his professional year, like his first year in the 450 class, he was like 232 pounds.
Yeah.
But he has some of the gnarliest cardio out of anybody, which is, I mean, it's just gnarly. But back to the question, if he never would have got hurt at Glendale, which keep in mind, even though it was only 2 rounds, he was top 5. Where would he be had he never gotten hurt?
I think he'd be in the same position he is, which would still be top 5.
You don't think he'd be better than what he is now with a hurt wrist? I'm not saying like winning, like, but come on, dude. I truly believe
he may be on the box. I still think he's going to be on the box. Outdoor, after seeing the way he rode this week, if he keeps off the ground here and his wrist continues to get better, I think he's going to be on the box before the end of the year.
I think...
both in a moto and overall.
I think if he keeps doing this, because aside from Baggett and Eli, I think he's in like 8th in the points. If he continues to do this, which I've thought he can do it all along, I think he can seriously start making a push forward with as close as everybody to being top 3 in the points at the end of the year. Because... aside from Baggett, Anderson, and Eli, who was faster than Weston yesterday?
Yeah.
Nobody. Nobody. Not even close. Like, he got hounded the whole time, and they did nothing with him.
Yeah.
So, I think that Weston, had he never gotten hurt, would have got top 5 in Supercross. I think he would be basically where Anderson is at in the cusp of moving towards Tomac and Baggett. I just think the problem is that people look at Weston and they look at him as not the typical motocross guy. So it's hard for people to conceive that he would be the next level guy to be battling for wins.
So question for you, if and when his wrist gets better here, where does he top out results-wise?
And you just mean going forward? Like for...
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm talking finishes in races, not points or anything like that, because as we've seen this year in Supercross with Dunge, you don't even have to fucking win to goddamn win the title. So anyway, where do you see him results-wise topping out race per race?
For outdoors, consistently on the box, and possibly, depending on where certain people start, second place. I don't see him winning a moto just because I think that Weston, even though he has that bulldog style where he just manhandles the bike and just does whatever he wants with it, it's not his cardio and it's not really his speed because he's proven in years past that he can feel it for a few laps. I just don't think that even with his style, he's willing to go above and beyond what it takes to win a moto. Nothing against him, because everybody who knows me knows I like Weston, but I don't see it. I see consistent podiums and seconds because I think when he's 100%, and this is probably going to shock you, and I know you're probably not going to agree with me, I think he's just as fast as Anderson is.
Doesn't really shock me. I mean, I can see
Well, most people would say, no, there's no fucking way.
I can see it.
But back to my point, though, do you agree that I think it's just because people look at Weston and it's hard for them to conceive that he could be that good because he's not your typical twig and bones, 155-pound Jason Anderson or Blake Baggett. Like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, where do you see him when he's 100% healthy? Do you see him on the box consistently?
I do. But, yeah, I don't know where. Because with all the parity we have in the class, especially this year, it's kind of weird because it's like he could win, honestly, going 4-4.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's
or
like
3-3
well, he could get an overall, but he'd still only go 4-4. Like, so I don't know. I mean, I could see him consistently getting on the box though.
When his wrist is 100%, which with the way it sounds, probably will put him at Washougal, I would imagine, maybe 100%.
Yeah.
What do you see his best moto finish? Do you see him possibly getting a second place?
I see third.
Third being his best?
Yeah, because
even if like Baggett starts like 10th.
He did it, dude. He started 39th this week.
I know.
Third and blew by Pike, and I know Pike has the hurt wrist, but man, dude, Baggett and Tomac are on such another level from everyone else that I don't see anyone on that board being on that level to be able to hold those guys back. Like I said, the 250 class, everybody's pretty much the same. There is no clear-cut fast dude.
No.
450, you've got Eli and Baggett. That's it. Everyone else is a notch or two down from that. So
okay.
Third is where I see it.
I see the only way he gets second is if he gets one or first or second off the going into the first turn, and like Baggett or Tomac's in 10th, and he just gets a clear track. But I agree, third. But he almost got third yesterday. Good God, dude. So that goes to our third place guy, Blake Baggett. Go ahead.
It's a little quiet around the Baggett camp right now.
I mean, there's not a lot of chirping going on. I was just doing what I was, doing everything I could. I mean, yeah.
It's really sad because I like Baggett, but I'm just like, okay, we got to tone the shit talking back, which is weird too because I am a shit talker, as you know.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't know me personally, I am a huge shit talker.
He is.
I will. But,
no, it's fine.
But man, he's just like a little too much. But it's really funny to me how this weekend, even Georgia brought it up to him on the podium about talking stuff, and he's just like, well, I just tried to motivate myself, and just kind of beat around the bush about well, and I'm like, dude, my thing is, if you're gonna talk shit, just own it. If I'm talking shit, somebody calls me on it, I just fucking own it. I'm like, yeah, it was.
Even if you look stupid, own it. Because he made some bold statements.
Well,
what I find funny about all this is that they kept talking on the show with Weege and GL that, and it'll go into our second place, but we're not going to go into it yet, Baggett, Ando, and Tomac, if they can all start together. Last time I checked that first moto, Baggett and Tomac did start together, and what happened?
Yeah.
So, where's this, if they can all start together? I know what they were getting at. I'm just being a jackass. They meant if they can all 1, 2, 3 off the line, get a clear track. I know that that's what they meant. But did we just forget that Baggett was literally right behind Eli for the first lap of the first moto? And what happened?
Yeah.
Just let everybody know what happened, Travis.
Well, I'm pretty sure Eli was, in second place by at least like 30 seconds.
Exactly. So what is this? We want.
I mean, let's get it clear. He got spanked so bad by Anderson that he thought he won the race because he couldn't see Ando. But still,
and he also went 2 seconds a lap faster though when he got a clear track. So that's neither here nor there.
But
honestly though, do you get what I'm saying? Like I don't know why they keep. I know what they were getting at, but I don't know why they would say that because they clearly started together. And Baggett didn't do anything. Like, he couldn't even latch onto him and go forward with him.
Yeah, which is a little funky to me because they were talking about that, too, of like, oh, man, like, we didn't get to see the battle again. What do you mean we didn't get to see the battle? They literally were right with each other. In fact, I think Baggett was ahead of Tomac off the start of the first moto. Eli got around him and just started slicing through the pack, and Baggett couldn't. I mean, do we really need to put them literally out front with each other to see this battle? Like, I don't get it. Like, if one person can do it and the other person is supposed to be so good, then they should be able to do it too.
I think they just, and I completely agree. I think that's what they've been is they just want to see what they all three can do with a clear track and not have to worry about, getting caught up in the trash. But there was even one point, I think it was the third lap, where I don't know if Eli was in like 5th, 6th, and Baggett was right behind him, that right-hander before the big step-up triple. And they were literally freight trading on that little step-down double. Eli carved to the inside. Baggett followed who was ever in front of them. And next thing you know, by the time they go into the left-hander before that off-camber after the step-up triple, Eli had already put 7 bike links on Baggett in a matter of a section.
Yeah.
So, like, why do we keep saying, oh, I hope they start together? Like, dude, they just started together, and Tomac yarded it. So, I get what they're getting at, but come on, guys. Like, stop saying shit like that.
But overall in the day, Baggett did look really good. Still
good.
Looked really good. Really confident. His confidence is super high. I think he definitely got cut down half a notch here.
Oh,
because of the way the weekend went. But his confidence is still high. We haven't seen the last of him. But yeah, we're down to 4 points now. So this title hunt's really close. Really close. But again, the cream's rising to the top, and those two are separating themselves from everyone else. Because what is it? 30-some points back after that to Marv.
Yeah, after Marv having his issues. Which, let's talk about that for a split second. It's over, guys. It's done.
Yeah.
Call it a year.
Marv's not winning that title. His knee's not as bad as we thought it was last week, but with the bike problems there, he's 38 points down.
And he had no confidence.
Now from Baggett.
He had no confidence.
Yeah, it would not surprise me at all, and there's been rumblings already that once we get to Southwick and move on, he's not going to continue after that. He's going to go get his knee fixed, get ready for 18. So, which wouldn't surprise me at all. And in all honesty, if the next 2 weeks don't go great, why would you not?
Which arguably the two roughest tracks of the year, it's going to be hell.
Yep.
It's going to be hell. So, yeah. But anyways, to our second place guy who killed it the first moto.
Jason Anderson.
Finally, that's the Jason Anderson that we can all kind of see. I mean, dude, I was very impressed. He looked which I normally wouldn't say this about Ando because he has that ragged edge style. He looked fluid. That bike, it looked like it was an extension of him. Anywhere he wanted to play at that bike, it would go with it. And just the way he was setting up for sections, I watched it, I'm like, dude, like it was poetry in motion. It wasn't because he was smooth. It's just anything he wanted to do with the bike, he would just plan it and it would track. I was really amazed. I mean, if he can get starts like that and ride like that, I don't know if he could beat Eli straight up and Baggett straight up. But damn, dude, he can sure make it hell on them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's face it. He was on that next level that first race. Like, he checked out, was gone. If you didn't see the race on the podium, even Tomac was like, I thought I won the race because I never saw Jason.
The first moto, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I never saw him. I did a fist pump over the finish, thought I won the race, and then they're like, no, you got second. I was like, oh, shit. So, anywho, yeah, I mean, I don't know. He lacks the consistency is the problem. He's not, as much as Eli lacks consistency. Ando's worse. Sorry.
He's yawning again.
Ando's worse. I'm awful with this.
All right, so question for you then, since this is kind of the theme for today.
Oh boy.
If Ando can keep getting starts, and if he just gets starts like he did that first moto, and Eli and Baggett continue where they're hot and cold with their starts. Say they're like 5th or 6th or whatever. Can Ando keep winning like that? I'm not saying like Baggett, Ando, and Eli start together. I'm saying Ando rips the hole like he did that first moto, and Eli and Baggett are in like 5th and 6th and 7th, and he's got a clear track to just do what he wants to. Can he keep winning?
I don't know if I see Ando being that consistent though with doing stuff.
If he does though.
If he does, I mean, yeah, I don't see why not. He proved he can.
So
he won by what, 30 seconds that first race?
Something like that. It was a good distance, and he had the second fastest lap time, but his lap times were consistent. They weren't just like heater 3 laps and then like 4 seconds a lap slower. Like, dude, they were consistent the whole entire time.
Yep. So I mean, yeah, he can win, but
it's consistency.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it though. I'd like to see it.
All right, let's get into first place, man.
Oh man, dude.
First place overall on the day. Eli Tomac came out that second moto,
but the hurt
stamped himself as I'm gonna be the fastest dude. Even Anderson said, Eli's the fastest guy. There's no touching him. When your competition is telling you that, I mean, obviously Baggett's not admitting that, but when Jason Anderson, who won by 30 seconds the first moto, goes, yeah, Eli's the fastest dude, we're not touching him.
I mean,
dude,
what else do you got to say about that, dude? He put the hurt down.
I was gonna say, how much do we have to keep harping on? I mean, yeah, he's had some issues, but man, he's won more motos than anybody so far this year.
If he gets a start, it's over with. Let's just put it at that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just put it at that.
And we've got 2 tracks he loves coming up, Redbud and Southwick.
Yep.
So you put him on there. If he goes 1-1 both races here, he's going to be the points leader. But by how much is the question?
I can't. I gotta mimic everything you said. I mean, dude, he was just on another level that second moto. I mean, I think at one point he went 2 seconds a lap faster for like 4 laps in a row than anybody else on track.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, it was.
Well, and then it was somebody would pick it up, and he would pick, like, Ando went 154, Eli went 153, Ando went 152, Eli went 151. So,
and then he go 151 again.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've talked about it before. I'm not going to harp on it too long here. He's the fastest dude in the series right now. If he gets to where he is super consistent, because I feel like his consistency level's coming up, but if he gets to where he's super consistent and he is winning, you know, say 3 out of 4 motos every 2 weeks, I mean, none of these other dudes are touching him, even including Baggett. Baggett just doesn't have. Baggett's got good raw speed and has showed he can beat him, but
I think it would take a ride like he did at Thunder Valley every weekend for him to run that pace.
Yep.
And that's why I made the comments that I did after Thunder Valley about them splitting wins, because I was thinking that he was going to be, if he could mimic that maybe he could beat Eli at his best, but the last 2 weekends, even that first moto at High Point, was nothing like it was the second moto and stuff, and he just couldn't do it. So that kind of leads me into, are we, man, I guess since we're kind of finishing the talk of Eli, are we shaping up to an ultimate showdown at the MX of Nations on Eli, trying to prove to the world that he is the fastest fucking dude in the world, by far? Because right now, the GP series is crazy, and we're not going to talk about that because that's for a different time. But right now, there's a lot of shit going on over the GPs, and I just feel like there's this building tension leading up to Matterley Basin with Eli Tomac and the rest of the world. I feel he has unfinished business.
There could be. Problem I see, Kenny's not here.
No.
So until Kenny,
Hurlings and Cairoli are there.
Yeah, but until Kenny's here, man, because no matter, as much as I like Eli, and I want to see him go over there and just dominate for the U.S. and for himself, until you put him on there, because I mean, other than that, you have a bunch of dudes who are retired. And you're like, well, he may not be faster.
And that's just a whole different
But
talk.
again, that's neither here nor there. But as far as active duty dudes, I mean, you got to look at the hurt that Kenny put on everybody.
Oh, I know.
The first 2 rounds of Supercross before he got hurt. I mean, there's just so many shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and it's like, I feel like even if he like goes over there, dominates, goes 1-1 for the 2 races he rides, he still has that asterisk next to it of, well, you were pretty much the fastest dude, but
well, basically we
didn't see Kenny.
What I was just getting at is that since he has unfinished business, and if anybody knows what I'm talking about, feel free to comment below, because I'm pretty sure most people do. What I was getting at is that, do you feel that this is shaping up for him to go over to Matterley Basin and literally just put the hurt down on everybody, is just a stamp it on what happened his first 2 times over there? Because he has unfinished business at the MX of Nations. He really does. And I think he's going to want to go over there, and whether it be Tony Cairoli, unfortunately Geyser won't be there because he's going to be there, but his country really lacks with speed. With Hurlings and Cairoli, that Eli's going to want to go over there on their turf and be like, bro, like, I'm the fastest fucking dude right now.
Yeah, I can see it.
I just feel that there's this building tension with him that I almost feel that in the back of his mind, it's more important to him to prove to everybody that he could beat the GP dudes than it is over here. Because I almost feel like when he wins like he did yesterday, that he's just like, nah, you know, that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Be interesting going forward. So, one last thing we need to touch on with 450s, talk about Trey Canard.
Yep.
The return of Trey Canard.
He were good.
Looked like Trey Canard of old. I mean, was in the top 10. He got a top 10 overall. I mean, he's going to race his way into shape at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a little bit. It's a little late in the season. Probably won't be till like round 9, but
top 10.
Good. And he was running top 5 that second moto for
a while.
4 laps, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. So
a bit better than I thought. I honestly thought he was going to fade so bad that he wouldn't even be in the top 15. But.
Yep. So, all right, cool. That's pretty much it for the 450. Let's get on to our predictions for the week. Let's just do 450 predictions because obviously we talked 250s. Who the fuck knows? So go ahead with your podiums for Redbud in the 450 class.
I'm going to go 3rd place because we talk about Anderson's consistency. I don't think he can do it week in and week out. I'm going to have to go what I was talking about with Weston Pike. I think that Weston, he likes Redbud. It's deep sand. It fits his manhandle the bike style. I'm going to have to go 2nd place, Baggett, and it's almost like Supercross. Getting to this point, just picking Eli Tomac for the hell of it. I'm going to have to go Eli Tomac. So,
I'm going to stay with the same top 2 you got, Eli and Baggett. Eli first, Baggett second. But 3rd place, I'm going to go with Brock Tickle, man.
Okay.
Home race, lots of fans around, likes Redbud, usually does well.
Does he do it with a 3-3 or does he do it just off consistency?
Well, I'm going to say off consistency.
Okay.
But
that's fine.
I do think overall, he's 3rd overall. So, and I think Pike's right there in the top 5 again with maybe like 4th or something.
Maybe we'll see like every fucking Suzuki battling from 3rd to 7th. Because that just happened.
That happens.
Okay, so here's my question then.
Oh boy.
For Eli.
Okay.
I like questions. We like questions. It should be a thing on the show now. Next 2 races, you just mentioned it. Redbud and Southwick, 2 of his most favorite tracks. Does he go 4 for 4 on Moto wins in these next 2 races?
I think he wins at least 3 out of 4.
So does he lose a Moto at Redbud or Southwick?
Redbud.
Okay.
I don't think anyone riding right now has anything for him at Southwick.
Okay.
I'm going to say that barring a crash, bike failure, or something crazy happens that just shits on his confidence this week at Redbud, he wins Southwick much in the same way he dominated Hangtown in 15.
So by a minute 30.
I'm going to say he wins by 45 seconds plus both motos.
Over 2nd place?
At Southwick.
I honestly can't disagree with that. So if he doesn't win, if he gets 2nd in a moto at Redbud, is it because he just gets a bad start or just because like Baggett or somebody is faster than him?
I'm going to say it's going to be an outside circumstance. It's going to be a bad start. It's going to be a little tip over. It's going to be he pushes the front end of that Cowie because we all know how many times he's done that. But yeah, if I see him losing any motos out of the next 4, it's going to be 1 at Redbud. Southwick, like I said, barring a wild crash or a bike failure or something that happens where he just gets shit on his confidence here at Redbud, 45 seconds plus, both motos over 2nd place.
All right, well, because he might as well try to get 4 for 4 because then we go into the break and probably the most pitiful race I've seen from him in a long time was Millville last year.
Yeah.
So if he's going to get 2 of his best tracks and try to go 4 for 4, it might as well be here because Millville, dude, I mean, that's a long ways away, but that was, if he rides like he did last year, dude, he might as well not even show up because that was fucking pitiful. But anyway, I think he goes 4 for 4. I really do. I think he does. I think he just clearing away just yards everybody. But, okay,
well, cool. That's it for this episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. Like I said, remember, follow us on Facebook. We'll be doing as much live stuff as our cell phones will allow with the service we get down there. So, you know, press day, everything. We're going to be there all week. We're going in Wednesday night. We're staying through Sunday. I'm racing Friday and Sunday, too. So look out for those riding videos will be coming up. Again, don't forget, we've got the Amazon links down below. Click those, go into Amazon, buy something, even if it's not what the link is to. It helps us out. We get a small slice of that. Anything else you can think of? I don't know.
That's Redbud, bro!
Redbud!
Woo!
Wait all year for this shit.
I mean, I literally got here and he was washing his bike and he fucking started screaming at me.
I'm pumped.
I'm
pumped already.
It's 3
days till
it's
we
our
leave.
version of vacation.
3 days till we leave.
It's gonna be wild.
Hell yeah.
It's wild.
So anyway, that's been this episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. We will see you guys next week from Redbud.
Bro, I realized last night after being out at the bar till 3 in the morning that I can't do that shit anymore. I fucking died, bro. It's fucking terrible. Started drinking at like 8:30 and was at the bar till 3 and I was like, fucking slept till 10. Fucking God, dude, it was fucking horrible.
What bar did you go to?
First we started off at the Hangar.
Oh, Jesus.
And then we went to Texas Corral, and then we ended up in Main Street and closed that shit down. But like,
Holy shit.
dude, it was fucking terrible.
Fucking awful.
I know, right? I can't do it.
Alright, great. Well, let's start that over.
No, I can go on the fucking.
It'll go in the outfit.
Yeah, I know, right? They're kind of funny because they're just.